The 1935 Philippine Constitution was also known as the 1935 Commonwealth Constitution. First, let us define what Commonwealth is. So, Commonwealth defined as independent country or community. So, what is the main idea of this 1935 Constitution? The 1935 Constitution provided the legal basis of the Commonwealth government, which was considered a transition government for the granting of the Philippine independence with American-inspired constitution. The Philippine government would eventually pattern its government system after American government. Hair Waves Cutting Act, Butter Hair, Harry Waves, and Bonson Cutting was approved on January 17, 1933. This law promised Philippine independence after a 10-year transitional period, but preserved several military and naval bases for the United States, as well as imposing tariffs and quotas on Philippine exports. Hair Waves was opposed by Manuel L. Quezon, but this law was opposed by Manuel L. Quezon. For the reason that it was not stated that the U.S. will truly free in the Philippines from them, so Manuel L. Quezon led a mission to the U.S. advocate for the passage of the law.
The 1935 Constitution, a new era for the Philippines. Hello everyone! Ngayon, pag-uusapan natin ng isang mahalagang bahagi ng kasaysayan, ang 1935 Constitution ng Pilipinas. Ang konstitusyong ito ay nagmarka ng isang makasaysayang pagbabago sa pamamahala ng bansa na naglatag ng pundasyon para sa pag-establish ng Commonwealth of the Philippines. Tara at alamin natin ang historical context na nagdala ng paglikha nito. Once again, welcome to the story of the 1935 Constitution, a pivotal moment in Philippine history. Adopted on February 8, 1935, this constitution marked a significant milestone in the country's journey toward independence. To begin, the Philippines was under American colonization since 1898. The U.S. government imposed its own system of government, laws, and institutions. However, Filipino yearned for a self-governance. In addition, in 1934, the U.S. Congress passed the Tidings-McDuffie Act, which provided for Philippine independence after a 10-year transition period. A constitutional convention was convened to draft a new constitution. In addition, on July 30, 1934, the Constitutional Convention assembled comprising 202 delegates from various sectors. They worked tirelessly to craft a constitution that would reflect Filipino values and aspirations. To continue, the 1935 Constitution introduced significant features, including a presidential system of government, a bicameral legislature, Senate and House of Representatives, an independent judiciary, Bill of Rights protecting individuals' freedom, and lastly, social justice provisions. For example, is the labor right and women's suffrage. In addition, the Constitution was influenced by American constitutional principles, Filipino revolutionary ideas, including Emilio Aguinaldo's Malolos Constitution, and also international trends. For example, is the social democracy. Its preamble shrined the principle of sovereignty, democracy, and social justice. On the other hand, on February 8, 1935, the Constitutional Convention adopted the Constitution. It was ratified by Filipino people on May 14, 1935 through a national plebiscite. And also, the 1935 Constitution played a crucial role in shaping the Philippines' political landscape. It established the country's sovereignty, provides a framework for governance, and also inspired future constitutional reforms. Its legacy continues to influence Philippine politics, law, and society. For the conclusion, the 1935 Constitution represents a significant chapter in Philippine history. It adopts a mark a its adoption marked a major step forwards independence and self-determination. Today, we remember the vision and ideas of our forebears as we continue to strive for a better Philippines.
Tanong ng nakakarami kung kailan ba naganap ang 1935 Philippine Constitution or when was the Philippine Constitution created. The 1935 Philippine Constitution was created on February 8, 1935. It was adopted during the Constitutional Convention that convened in 1934. The Constitution was ratified by a plebiscite on May 14, 1935, and it served as the fundamental law of the Philippines until the country's independence in 1946, though it was later superseded by the 1973 and 1987 Constitution.
Number 1. Filipinos are now independent. This part refers to our time coming out of sovereignty under the United States. It means we had just been under the American rule. Before, we are a commonwealth, but since Americans granted us independence, we are now the Republic of the Philippines. This means we are now independent and Filipinos are no longer dependent on the Americans. Number 2 is the Philippines now have the national territory. Since we are now independent, we have our own national territory. This is like saying that the entire Philippines is within the Philippine territory, which lies within the PAR or the Philippine Area of Responsibility. So, it's like defining the extent of our boundaries or up to where the Philippines reaches. This is now our national territory. Now, everything that was discussed between the United States, Spain, Washington, and etc. Everything mentioned there as part of the Philippines falls under national territory of the Philippines. Now, our government has the right to govern and lead in the territory. This means we are governed by our government, and they exercise their power over us and within that territory. Currently, there's an issue because there are territorial disputes in the West Philippine Sea. But it is under us, which is part of our national territory. The principle of separation of powers divides government responsibilities among three distinct branches to prevent any one group from having too much authority. So, the number 1 is Executive Department, led by the President, who is elected by the public to serve a 6-year term. The President has the power to choose cabinet members to help run the government. The number 2 is the Legislative Department, made up of a bicameral 2-member Congress, which includes the Senate and the House of Representatives. This branch is in charge of creating laws. Lastly is the Judicial Department, responsible for interpreting the laws and upholding justice, which the Supreme Court as its highest authority. Article 7, the Executive Department. The Executive Department is responsible for leading the government by putting laws into action and developing policies and programs that address the needs of the nation. Section 1 states that legislative power, the authority of creating laws, is assigned to a National Assembly. This means that while the executive department enforces laws, the power to make laws lies with the legislative body. Article 7, Legislative Department. The Legislative Department is the part of the government responsible for creating laws, and it also called the legislature. The Section 1 explains that the executive power, the authority to enforce, carry out laws, is granted to the President of the Philippines. This means that while the legislative branch creates laws, the President is responsible for implementing them. Philippines also established its own judicial power. This means that with the creation of Philippine courts, interpretation and applications of the law, including the ability to charge criminals, are handled within the court system. Whether it's the Supreme Court or lower courts, as long as they are established by the law. It's fully legal and it can even involve barangay level courts as parts of the judicial department.
Let us tackle our topic about suffrage. So you may be guessing, what is suffrage? Suffrage is our right and our ability to legally vote for leadership, whether it be for our country or our barangays. In the 1935 Constitution, Article 5, Suffrage, Section 1, it states that the suffrage are exercised by male citizens who are in the age of 21 and above. People resided for a year in the municipality are also able to vote in the preceding election. You may wonder, why are only male citizens able to vote? Well, during this era, only males were able to go to school, and only the richest can afford it. In the 1930s, women were looked down upon, as well as people with disabilities, and if they aren't legible. It is because of the prejudice of the conceived opinion of thinking that women's jobs are just to satisfy men's needs, and they are just plain out weak. These events made women infuriated, which made them made a move to extend their rights in a plebiscite. This resulted into giving rights to all of the Filipino of legal age to vote. In the Article 3 Bill of Rights, Section 1, it talks about our rights as a citizens that we shouldn't live mercilessly. We should be able to have our freedom and hold into our properties due to the processes of the law, and that the citizens should be treated equally with the security.
On Article 8, General Provisions, in Section 1, states that the flag of the Philippines shall be red, white, and blue, with a sun and 3 stars as a consecrated and honored by the people and recognized by law. It shall be these colors because it represents our bravery, peace, justice, and sovereignty, as well as our 3 main islands in Luzon, Panay, and Mindanao. And in our section number 3, we must be able to develop and adapt in our native language in order to understand each other and to recognize where we came from.